If you're looking for trouble, you came to the right place. If you're looking for trouble, just look right in my face.
He just looked like Elvis.
This is Mr. Hips, you know. Hip swiveling man.
Wow, you know, that's Elvis.
Tour in 1965, the Beatles arrived in Hollywood. We're going to have a few days rest here. We stayed up in a big house up in Benedict Canyon. And there was an arrangement made that the Beatles should go to Elvis's house for a party. It was on
this Cadillac limousine. And you know what it's like in LA, everything goes round and round and round and round, and then I think we're going along Mulholland.
Ooh, it's a hippie that's happening all over our town. And every local chicks with a message that he lays down.
Oh, we had a couple of cups of tea in the back of the car. And by the time we got to Elvis's house, we forgot where we were going. It didn't really matter where we were going.
Bel Air, actually. And you know, this meet was arranged. We were going to go and see him. I was pretty excited about it all, and we arrived.
We pulled up and there was these big gates, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, we're going to see Elvis." And then we all fell out, just like in a Beatle cartoon. We all fell out the car, all in hysterics, trying to pretend we weren't.
Have you got lots
silly.
of, I mean, have you got lots of LPs, you know, records, gold, silver, bronze, you know, so, I mean, here, not in Memphis. So he said, yeah, I've got quite a few. But where's this going? I said, well, I have this idea that you get them to walk along towards where you're going to be, and you're going to stack them on the floor.
Late in the evening, two big black limousines arrived with all Elvis's boys in it, known as the Memphis Mafia. We all jumped into the cars. There was the four Beatles, there was Brian Epstein, there was Neil, there was Mal, there was myself, one or two others. And we were driven. We ended up in the big driveway of Elvis's house. We all jumped out of the car, and as usual, I was always the last one. So John, Paul, George, Ringo, everybody went through the doorway with Elvis standing immaculately dressed in his beautiful red shirt, dark pair of pants, and he greeted everybody as they went through the door. And I'm the last one through the door, and as I get to the door, I said to Elvis, "My name's Alf. I'm the Beatles driver, roadie." Grasped me by the hand, "Welcome to my home, sir," pulled me through the door, and in we went.
He was wondering really how they would be, because he wasn't sure. You know, the hits are big, and they just went worldwide all of a sudden. He said, "Man, these guys are probably going to be jerks," you know. And but once he got to talking to them once, they got up there and they just kept looking at him, staring. I guess they want to see how pretty he was. So he got tired of them looking. He said, "Hey guys, if you're not going to talk, I'm going to bed."
They walked towards Elvis's, where he is, and he's just sitting there, tinkling on the piano. And they were completely blown out the window. Completely blown. So much so that Elvis said it was really funny. He said, "I didn't think anybody would say anything at all, because they completely wiped out the window, and all this cockiness had gone, you know, they weren't cocky at all." So then he said, "Well, is anybody going to say anything at all, because I'm going to bed otherwise?"
Look at that's what they were doing. Their jaws were literally dropped. They couldn't believe their eyes. So after 15, 20 seconds, that's a long time, right? Elvis goes, "Well, if you guys aren't talking to me, I'm going to bed." And he gets up like that, and everyone laughs. And it kind of broke the ice.
When they came in, Elvis was watching television. The introductions were made, from what I understand. They made introductions and the acquaintances were made. And then they sat down and Elvis was watching TV. Now, the Beatles had never seen a channel changer. They had never seen one of these. They had not hit England yet. And Elvis was changing the channels. He was watching TV and he said, they thought Elvis was pulling some kind of magic. On a couple of interviews I've heard with Paul McCartney, they couldn't figure out how Elvis was changing the channels.
Wow!
He had a TV going all the time, which is what I do anyway. And in front of the TV, he had a massive big bass amplifier, Fender bass amplifier, or just a Fender amplifier. And oh yeah, it was a bass with a bass plugged in it. And he was playing bass all the time with the picture up on the TV. So we just got in there and played with him. You know, we all plugged in what was ever around, and we all played and sang.
I like a lot of the new groups, you know, the Beatles and the Beards and whoever, but I really liked a lot of the new music.
Reaches over the back of him and brings in the guitars and passes one to Paul and to George and to John, and Ringo's at the end of the settee tapping in time to the jamming that was taking place. And we all stood back, and I can picture...
Recorded that. Oh, of course. I mean, let's face it, pictures and a recording of that, forget about it. It would have been the biggest selling album in history.
Yeah.
No two ways about that.
And he was playing Mulhurst Sam all evening. He had it on jukebox. He just played it like endlessly. That was like the record of the moment for him. So it was great to see, oh, he's a music fan. You know, he's not just... Because that was one of our big records at the moment, too.
Funny, you know, after so many years, you forget really what's going on. Some people said there was no jam session. And I remember there was a jam session. Richard Davis remembered there was a jam session. And some of the other guys didn't remember there was a jam session. In fact, Jerry Schilling didn't think there was a jam session.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I know there was. Either that, I'm losing my mind.
Lennon played bass and Lennon played guitar. Lennon played rhythm guitar, and yeah, of course George Harrison played lead guitar. And so anyway, there wasn't any drums there, but they got it and they sang a few songs and goofed around with some music, and that really loosened it up.
And he had great respect for John Lennon, because John Lennon was obviously the real genius in that, in the Beatles. As I told Elvis, I said, it's John that's the one, it's John that's the genius.
John saying, look, colored telly. You never saw it before, right? And Paul said to Elvis, can I pick up one of your guitars, man? I said, sure, go right ahead. So Paul picks up a guitar, and it was because there was a bass guitar there. And then John said, can I play Elvis? And I said, sure, man, go on. Then they start strumming, and Elvis picks up a guitar. And there, they started to play. And I'm thinking to myself, right now, I'm at the exact center of the universe. I mean, where else is there to be? Where? Is there a better place to be? Anywhere? In the universe? The home planet Earth? You know, this is it. This is the Matrix. This is it.
But the sad thing for me to say about this is that there was no photographs taken. There was no tapes made of the jamming of the session. There was nothing took place. So the only recollection we have is the few of us that were actually there, is that we have this beautiful memory in our minds and in our hearts. And it's something that I'm happy to relate to you.